Hey there, dipshits, it's me, Joey, aka Slooty Mage.
I'm Hunter, voice of Hunter Taylor.
And I'm Carter, Deagle Eagle.
We're Older and Dumber.
Every Friday, we drop wisdom, humor, and a whole lot of nonsense. You won't want to miss it.
Become a patron today for as low as $5 a month. Get early access to all our episodes and exclusive behind-the-scenes looks at all the things we're doing and May's super secret editing notes.
Shout out to all our awesome dipshits. Your support really helps keep this madness going.
Join the crew, be a dipshit. It's an exclusive club, and you're invited.
So dipshits, mark your calendar every Friday for a dose of Older and Dumber craziness. See you there.
Fade to black. Now my stand. Fade to black.
I was telling Hunter he looks like an extra Jedi from like the background of the Geonosis battle.
I'm doing a new look. I usually have it like down here, but I'm putting it back now because Michaela was like, it's poking you in the eye all the time. I'm like, yeah, but I like it down there. She's like, but it would look good like this. And I was like, okay.
It's literally the quote from Mean Girls. It's like, doesn't his hair look nice slicked back? Push back.
But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet.
That's fair.
We'll see.
No,
I think it's okay. Yeah.
I mean,
You look like a young, you look like a young Arthur Morgan.
I don't know what that means.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
So anytime you ask Joey, like, oh, hey, how does this look, or how does this sound, or what do you think about this? He never says it's good, it's bad, it's ugly, or wow, that's amazing. Doesn't use those four words ever.
Okay.
Neither does he go. Oh, his biggest response is, but most of the time he will give you some crazy obscure fucking comment that you're like, I have no idea if that means it was good or bad. Thanks. And then he's like, you look like a background Jedi. I'm like, again, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It all depends on your take on what I'm telling you.
Yeah, you leave it up to the person that you tell it to decide whether it was good or
You
bad.
should find your
It's
own
very
path.
like psychic, where you're like, I give you just enough information that you can then make the leap, and then I seem very smart.
Mm-hmm. It's the, the wise way of saying, shut up.
There's a background Jedi named Boltar Swan in those prequels.
See?
So I was very excited about that. I was like, oh, she's fun. She's in there for like 2 frames, but I like it.
It's a swan,
It's
and
a
that's what
swan.
matters.
It is.
You see her like hop off the gunship. You're like,
I think
Swan.
she like goes, like steps in and like swings her lightsaber like to prep. And I was like, look at that. Cool.
I gotta look up who that is now. May, look up
put Boltar Swan.
Boltar
Boltar
Swan.
Swan on the screen.
I don't know. I kind of feel like an idiot sometimes. Although I am an idiot, so it kind of works out.
Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid?
That's so funny. Last time I heard that, I laughed so hard I fell off my dinosaur. Put that cookie down now!
That is the most real, authentic, hysterical laugh of my entire life because that is not a plan.
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Welcome to another episode of Older and Dumber, the podcast about 3 dumb friends just trying to make it on this planet we call
Earth.
He was too fast.
He is very fast. We've only done this 106,
Many.
100 and something times.
When did the Earth thing actually start though? Because that hasn't been going the whole time.
No. We have a video of the very first time it worked though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think it started, I don't know, episode 20 or something, maybe 30. Some craziness like that. I don't even remember.
It's a deep lore.
I don't even think we used to start it with that quote. I think it just used to be like, welcome to Older and Dumber. I'm Hunter Joey Carter.
Yeah.
Let's get going. Just like that. But anyway, guys, as usual, we check in with everybody and see how their lives are going. However, we're not starting with Carter today because he's not here. So instead, I will start with Joey to my left. Joey, what's up, dude? How's your week been?
Good. I love this weather. It's nice out.
It has been very nice. Been
Just
super
finished
nice.
finished Ithacon over the weekend.
Woo!
That went well. Slow, but good business wise. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we had a fun
It was
time.
not a packed show floor, but it still was, decent.
Yeah, I thought we had a fun time. It was good. What else did you do? Anything else fun?
I mean, continued to play Fallout 76.
Makes sense.
I was gonna stream last night, but then May got on, and it felt awkward. Like I felt like I'd be stepping on her toes.
You wouldn't be allowed to because she's there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Well, now it's come out, and May's gonna know.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like you.
In the notes, she's gonna be like, "You can stream any fucking time you want."
And then other than that, just prepping for Free Comic Book Day this weekend.
Yeah.
which is I put my art supplies in a bag and put them in the car. So now I'm prepped.
Yep. Yeah, it's about right.
Yeah, I had to send Jay a picture, and I sent it to him, and he's like, "Great, I have a boner now."
He did not. Are
He
you
did,
serious?
yeah.
What the fuck?
First weekend in May is just bonkers. There's 85,000 things going, and
I don't know what it is.
As May always tells me, Pockets, quit your job
Yeah.
so you can
That's all
play
she ever
video
says.
games more.
Yeah.
I like it.
Not all of us have a famous photographer sugar daddy that teaches us to fly helicopters, though, so we can't do that. We live in this little place called the real world, where that kind of stuff doesn't happen for us. So.
Yeah, only May lives in that world. May lives in a very weird bubble. One second it's like, yeah, I work for a fucking multimillionaire and we fly in a helicopter every day and we pick up seagulls and drop off babies. And then the next second she's like, 4 birds just hit my windshield while I was driving to your house.
Cursed.
Cursed. She's got a lot of
Very
cursed
cursed.
energy going on. She gathers them up like JJK, which I've been watching a lot of lately. But anyway, sorry, continue. I almost just took over.
I think that's my whole.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I'm used to
So-
it. Carter always takes my week over. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had to do that for you, so it felt the same.
Hunter, there's something I have to do for you
Oh, no.
Oh.
now that you're not gainfully employed anymore.
God. Uh-huh.
Did you get any roles this week?
No. But I am getting everything set up for the office to set up my new studio again so I can actually start working on things again.
Yay.
I have a couple of things that I'm beginning to write that I will need to be recording soon. So that's personal project stuff. But I do have 3 auditions lined up that I am going to try and record when we get back from Free Comic Book Day. Sorry, not when we get back because it'll be late, but like Sunday. That I'm going to hopefully send in for, and we'll see how that goes. I don't think. Now, this also means that next week, I probably will be the answer is no, because it won't happen that fast. But I will have put in some auditions by the next episode, hopefully. But gotten some of the personal stuff done. So, that matters to me. So no, Joey, the answer is no. So we went to Ithacon. Ithacon was fun. We had a good time. We didn't play D&D this week. Either games, which really sucked because I'm unemployed now
We didn't
and I
even
was
play
home.
Starfinder this week because David betrayed us.
Yeah, David betrayed us. He was like, I'm out of town this week, sorry. Decided to tell us 2 hours before start time, which is fine. So yeah, we didn't do any D&D this week, so I was bored out of my mind just working on other things. However, I did start playing Manor Lords this week because that came out, and I can't stop playing it. The first night I played it, I instantly realized to myself, Hunter, you're not allowed to play this game past 7 p.m. Because the first night, so I had played it earlier in the day, then Joey was like, let's play some Fallout. So I played some Fallout. And then when we got done with that, I jumped back on Manor Lords, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to play this for a little bit longer. And it was like 9 o'clock maybe, something like that. I'm playing. I look down. It's 10. I'm like, oh, okay. Getting ready for bed. I look back down. It's 11. I go, whoa. All right. Let me finish this up really quick. I look back down. It's 1 a.m. What the fuck? I'm like, okay, I can't play this game anymore. So I paused it.
Plays it for another 45 minutes.
I definitely stopped at like 1 a.m. Luckily, Michaela worked the closing shift the next day, so she was still up, and we like watched some stuff before going to bed. But I was like, I'm not allowed to play this game past 7 p.m. anymore. So yeah, I can only play that game in the morning now, and that's it. Speaking of the mornings,
It's okay to be a degenerate, play games till 2 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, yeah, it is sometimes. But like I don't, because like I want to spend time with Michaela. Anyway,
So weird.
She's sitting in
know,
there
right?
watching you play the games. I hear
No,
her on
she's-
your mic all the time.
always. I mean, she watches and stuff, and that's fun too. But mostly she's in the living room playing her own games now. Because she's into Fallout now, and now she's playing, 4 and playing 76 for herself because we can't play together with 76 because it's not cross-platform, which is really fucking dumb.
Come on, Todd.
Yeah, I know. Come on, Dodd. Dodd.
God.
God.
Howard. That's what they call him. Oh, I started Freyrin, another anime thing. Freyrin, Beyond Journey's End. It's a new anime, but the first season
Turns out when you live forever, it's depressing.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Hold on. Did you? Have you watched it and you've been fucking with me this whole time?
No.
I feel like because he just you wouldn't know that unless you watched it. Anyway, Freeman, Beyond Journey's End. It's good. I've been watching a lot of animes lately. Been starting up some new ones. Like I said, I started JJK. JJK is cool. I do enjoy it. I just finished the first season. I have to watch the movie now, apparently. At least I've been told I should watch it. You don't have to, but I'm probably going to.
I mean, of everything I know, the internet really, really likes it when you don't do things in the order. Like, that's kind of their favorite thing. So
watch the entire thing, then go back and watch the movie. I mean, the movie's just a prequel anyway. It's what
Watch
they
it
say.
in reverse.
Oh, season 2's last episode and go backwards. I'm sure Crunchyroll would love for me to do that.
Just go back to my roots and just hit like roulette wheel and spin and get a random episode and then just try and piece the story together. Be like,
yeah,
no, I got
that's
it.
how we all watched anime on Toonami.
I actually really wish that was an option for like Hulu and Netflix. Is for stuff that you've watched already, you can be like roulette or random, and it just picks an episode and you watch whatever comes on.
I wish you could just do that for your picks list.
Your picks list, like
Yeah,
your
and just
watch
spin.
list. Oh,
Yeah.
but would you want it to like?
No, don't start it. Don't start where I left off. Don't start at the
Oh,
beginning.
no.
Just randomly pick something out of my list.
I haven't watched this. I don't know how far it is, and you skip. Oh God, that would be awful, but I like it.
All I know is like, as far as a lot of shonens I've watched, they hook you on the first episode, or you don't watch them.
And this one did not.
Yeah. So what are you doing?
I don't know. I gave in to peer pressure. Anyway, JJK. We talked about Kaiju number 8 last week. Have you Kaiju number 8? So Kaiju number 8 just started, like literally brand new.
It's silly.
It's very.
Do they dance? Because in my head that just became Mambo number 5, and I was like, I would love to see a line of kaiju.
That's funny as shit. I'm sure it'll happen, but it has not happened yet.
Kaiju number 8.
Yeah. But it's really good. I like it. It just started 3 weeks ago, so the 4th episode comes out. It comes out every Saturday live.
It's actually really cool that how they're putting it out.
Yeah. So you know how with most animes, like it comes out Japanese or whatever language it starts in, and they gotta wait weeks or months until it comes out. So Kaiju number 8 is all being worked on, voice acted, everything, all at the exact same time in all languages, and comes out live every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Comes out live 10 a.m. and then it's available like just to watch at 10:30. So it's pretty darn cool in that fact that I don't have to wait every week. Like it was coming out and I'm like, oh man, I wonder how long I'm gonna have to wait. And then after it came out and I was like, oh, I'll go check, and there's no way. Oh my God, it's English. So I was happy. I did start Delicious in Dungeon. It is phenomenal. It's very good. I am not done. I think I got to episode 5 or 6.
Where do you get to episode 11, brother?
Yeah. They just fought a giant squid. That's where I'm at. So have you watched it?
I haven't. I have been told though. Everybody's like, you gotta. And I need to. This is my thing.
Great.
I. It's not that I don't want to watch it. I just don't make time
yeah,
for
you
it.
need,
And then
like,
I
the
was like,
time for it. It's
one
fine.
weekend I was like, okay, here we go. We're gonna binge all 20 episodes. I'm like,
Yep. Well, it's weird because it seems tough, but like they're only 18 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like you just have to make the conscious choice of, all right, I'm going to take 18 minutes while I'm folding laundry or making breakfast or whatever it is. Just put it on Google Home, play whatever, just give me one episode. And then you can kind of like eat it like little meals, whatever. That's it for me. However, this week we have a very special guest. If you have not freaking noticed at this
You
point,
might recognize from our previous collaboration.
yes, from
the Doodle Crew.
the Doodle Crew. But what did we do? What was it called? Oodle and Doodle?
Oodle and Doodle. Yep.
Oodle,
Older and Doodle.
Oh, Older and
I
Doodle.
do like Oodle and Doodle, though.
Oodle and Doodle's not bad. Yes, from our previous engagements, Older and Doodle, which we have done a couple of things, and actually our most recent was live at Twin Tiers Comic-Con last year, and hopefully again this year.
Yeah.
But we have very special guests, a swan named Emily.
It's me. Hello.
Everybody say hello. In the comments right now, say hello.
Hello.
If you don't
Hello, chat.
If you don't say hello in the comments, we know who you are. Crippler, Blue Kitten Cosplay. The only people that comment.
Oh.
Who was the guy that commented on the Transl Saga?
We finally had someone comment on the Transl Saga video. It's like, I don't know. It's
XX Big Dick Gamer 69 XX.
It's like hook your mom or something. Like I'm gonna look it up again really quick. I hope
guys,
they're
we do read the comments.
We do, yeah. I hope he's watching right now. Black Hawk your mom. That's what it is.
Incredible.
And they commented, why anime fuck? That's it.
Wow. That's Existential.
Yeah, I'm.
Why do anime
Is it a-
fuck?
is it
Gosh,
a-
it just does, you know. I mean, I just went off on a bunch of animes. You know what I'm saying? It just does. But anyway, Swan, how has your week been? How has your life been since the last time we saw you?
Oh gosh. All right. So what? Since last 20 years, even though I've seen you between now and then, it's fast. That feels like it was not that long ago. I'm not ready.
Why?
Ever. At
Why
any point.
anime fuck?
Why anime fuck? Really?
I'm ready for more conventions. That's all I want.
Yeah. Well, that's been the thing. So I know you guys mentioned Ithacon, and that's usually like my first show of the year. That's when like all the stuff gets pulled back out, and I was like, okay, like I kind of remember how to do shows, sure. But at this point, it's
Yeah,
like,
you know.
yeah, I vaguely remember this. It's like my fourth one, and like that's very weird. Where I was just like, oh no, I'm already up and running, but I have. The convention schedule this year is very strange because I don't have a lot in like June, July, August.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like very front loaded for spring and then a break until the big one of Dragon Con down in September. So
I have also noticed that a lot of conventions are getting earlier and earlier. Like we used to go to MegaCon all the year, and MegaCon was like in May, and now it's in fucking
February. It was the
Yeah.
beginning of
Like,
February this year.
Excuse me?
I'll tell you what though, I am firmly for like shows in places that have nice weather.
Yeah.
During our winter, what a lovely thing. You know where I'd
Yeah.
love to be in February? Florida.
Yeah,
Not
that
in
makes
New
a lot of
York.
sense.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta
it was
be
it
honest.
was a really good time, which was
That's
awesome.
good.
It's going down. It's like in the 70s down there, just hanging out around the pool, knowing that we're getting fucking slammed with snow up north.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this year got a little bit crazy, but I really want to make a push for next year to actually start doing bigger travel, possibly making it out to C2E2, like some of the other shows. And I'm putting out applications.
C2E2, right?
Yeah, Carter
Okay,
brought
cool.
it up.
Carter brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's apparently this year was great. Like artist friends that I had that were out there said it was a great show. So I've always heard good things. I need to just get my butt out there. It's
Just gotta do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, well, I've been lazy. Like post COVID, I haven't been doing as big as shows because it's a lot of work. Okay, it's a lot of work.
Especially if you're out there by yourself, you don't have people to cover your table, so you're stuck there dehydrating and starving for 8 hours.
I was like, I'm sure 11 hours without using the restroom is fine. That seems fine, especially as I get older. That's
You
definitely-
finally hobble to the bathroom at the end of the
finally
day.
stand
and you're
up,
just
and I was like, oh no, I've done something terribly wrong.
I would say I have seen you over there a couple times now where it's just you, and I'm just like, why don't you have any help? Where's your help? I saw Whipple going over to your table every once in a while.
That's fun.
That's what Swan does. She doesn't bring anybody because she can just go to any table. And
yeah,
be
like
"Can you
Ethan
watch
Young
my table,
showed
please?"
up at your table.
Yeah, I saw him over
But I
there.
had Ethan and Steve who were both talking to people, and I was like, "There's so much stimulation happening right now. I can't handle it."
I was looking over there at one point, and I was like, "Why does Ethan have his shirt off? What's going on? Why is he pumping iron like a boss over there?
I
What's
was
going
like,
on?"
I need some boot babes. Like, let's
was like,
go.
"Come
He's like,
on
"All right, I got
over."
this." Yes,
That's
exactly.
funny as shit.
You can't
Bro,
ask
I
for
will
better.
say,
Like
from all the way
promotion.
over there, I was like, "Why the fuck is Ethan Young ripped, bro? Like, what is happening?
Have you ever
raw.
seen
Why
an
are you
award-
so ripped?"
Have you ever seen an award-winning graphic novelist at a gun show?
It was wild. And he was like wearing like a tank top, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" This guy came in just like cosplaying Die Hard. I'm like, I don't understand. Holy shit! He says, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers!"
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, no, I mean, you can't ask for better booth babes than that.
I
Like,
saw that over there.
I'm thrilled. It was-
Dude, and I saw when Steve Ellis kept getting stopped by a bunch of people, and there was just people in your booth. I'm like, someone block it over here. What's happening? Come over here. Block this shit up.
Yeah,
that was
aisle you were in was narrow too.
Oh, that was
so-
the thing. That was with the way things were spaced. Like there was not a lot of actual ways for people to move through traffic, and I was like, sure, it's fine. No,
Yeah, it's fine.
they're so funny.
May went over there and she was hyperventilating. She was so overwhelmed. She was like, "Oh my god."
She did want to yell at you about your commission prices too.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure she will in the notes.
I was about to say, I'm
Good.
sure she'll put it in the notes.
I like that.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
well, I felt bad too because I was not expecting to be invited on that panel, so I gave her literally no prep. I was just like, just watch the table, okay, bye.
Yep, that's what she said. She was like, "You were like, here's my cash register done. Go ahead." What are your prices?
I mean, and I was also fine. I was like, you could have done nothing. You could have just sat there and been like, she'll be back. Like, I did not. I had no expectations. Just have
she
somebody.
steps up.
No,
She
she's
steps up.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I had a couple people who came back around later that had bought stuff from her. They're like, yeah, we bought the last one of this, and they were super excited. I was like, oh, that's really cute. So, yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's good. So I appreciate it. So yeah, conventions have been good this year, which I'm like, I do that kind of like scared, timid way to say it. Like, they've been good.
I hope that continues because we've only done one so far this year.
I hope so too. I immediately post-pandemic, which obviously has its own complications, but I was like, it was tough. It was tough to get back in the swing of it. And I've noticed I'm happy to see so many new people coming to shows, but there's that little bit of learning curve that you get when you're a brand new person attending a con. And sometimes I don't always want to be the teacher to guide people on how we kind of navigate all of that. So
the etiquette, the like what you should be doing,
and it's tough with bigger shows. And the last time I did Baltimore, we were unfortunately
we gotta do Baltimore again, man. I love Baltimore.
It's such a nice show, but we were across from one of the like big print wall people who had like 4 different guys working for him, and like we're very actively engaging people in the crowd, which is fine. It is not the type of salesperson that I want to be, so it's tough, but it's a very attractive, like kind of carnival barker type thing. And so if you're a new person and you've never been to a show, that's very enticing. So it's like kind of having to sit through some of that, like people getting a feel for things can be tough because I'm like, no, I'm happy that you're finding stuff you like, but also I'm like, if you could support other indie artists. I work really hard. I work really hard. I do a lot of work, and I would love it if you'd buy my $3 sticker. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this year's been really good. Yeah, I'm hoping that continues. I like it. Yeah.
So to expand on what you just started to talk about, which is what our topic is today, Joey, get us going here.
Well, yeah, you do raise an interesting point that I think any of us who have been on that convention tour scene have noticed, that post-COVID, none of us know what to do anymore. Like, you can ask Hunter, there was a time just before, like 2018, 2019, I'm like, bro, let's just quit our jobs and tour and sell shit at shows.
Could be all we did. Like, it was nonsense. I definitely know that every time we went to anytime we had went to a show and sold stuff, we were always making back what we put in plus more every time. And I was like, this is great. We 100% could do this and be able to survive. There is no reason why we can't be doing this. We just have to schedule all of the shows and do it. But dude, wow. That was pre-COVID.
COVID
you could
hit.
do anything you want.
We go back out.
Dreams.
Set up the same way that we had always.
Dead.
Like crickets.
It was so bad. Like, yeah, when we came back after COVID and set up and did the first show and it was nothing, I was like, what the fuck happened? There were so many people. We were like, it's going to be a bigger show than last time. There's supposed to be like 1,000 more people. We're going to get so much business. Nothing. Yeah. Virtually nothing. But yeah, like, it's just like, what the hell happened?
It was like a show that we traveled to and we're like, well, we didn't make our money back. Here's part of what you put in.
Yep.
Because we brought like the whole crew.
Yeah.
Yep. It sucked. It was bad. Like, it really felt like we just didn't really know what the hell's happening.
No, because I couldn't find or trace like any specific reason. Like in previous years, I will say there was always a low year leading up to election year. That one, so of those, that 4-year span, 3 years would be really great. Election year would be really rough. So I was like, okay, so here's a trend I can kind of follow. And very much the same, like for like 14, 15, 16 were like my big years. That's when the book that I was a part of got nominated for stuff. Like really,
that was like when we were starting.
Yeah, like really big stuff was happening. So I quit my full-time job in 2019. And so I was just working part-time. I was doing more art stuff, but it was very much the same. It didn't matter what show I went to. I could confidently go. There had been very few times in that past 10 years where I hadn't had a successful show.
Yeah.
And come back after, and I'm working really, really hard to make $50. Like,
yeah.
And it's not a criticism. I'm always happy to talk to people. Feedback is nice. And even while it doesn't pay the bills, liking and sharing my posts on social media, talking to your friends about it, like there's still a lot of value in that. But from a work standpoint, like it's hard to spend a whole weekend with setup and if there's travel and everything to come home and have made $1 an hour.
Yeah.
Like it's a tough weekend to come back from, especially when expectations to that point had been very different.
It's a very, I don't want to do this again kind of thing. Like, wow.
And I was like, I feel like at this point, I've been professionally tabling since 2011. I was like, I think I'm making the best art of my career, and I'm getting the worst reception from it. Like,
Yeah.
it used to be, and I'm seeing it more this year, which is obviously, for my very fragile ego feels nice. Like, I'm getting a lot of compliments on stuff. My stickers make people laugh. Like, that interaction is great. That was also totally gone. Like, people would, like,
It would be like,
yeah, and then just walk past, and I was
hate
like,
that.
what have I done?
So
And
bad.
I work really hard to make people feel comfortable when they're at my table. I want them, if you'd like to engage with me, we can absolutely talk. If you just want to browse and be left alone, that's fine too. You can always, if I'm sketching, just say, hey, if you have a question, but I don't need to like pull you in and talk to you to make a sale. Like, I just want you to feel comfortable. But I was starting to get scared talking to people because they looked so unhappy
Yeah.
when I would engage with them. And I'm just like,
Okay.
I'm just gonna sit here and sketch. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
yeah. So it
bye.
was literally okay.
Yeah.
Bye. I was like, I don't know how to do this. I was like, it's not like I haven't been talking to people. And so weird because during pandemic, Doodle Crew had started up. I was doing so much more digital media stuff. I was like, if anything, I feel more confident and comfortable talking to people.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what have I done?
What's going on?
Yeah. Really weird and really like heartbreaking.
And it's another thing that we have talked about is the trends. Like, it doesn't matter what's out. Like, if you're trying to make art based on that, like, that's not hitting. It doesn't matter what you're selling. Like, prints are not moving, keychains, stickers.
Yeah.
Like, I've been telling Hunter for years, I want to do enamel pins. I can't make the commitment because I can't sit on 50 of the same pin and then just have to give them away in 2 years because they didn't sell.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I had a point too where I know you and I had talked about this. I ended up going and I just recycled a ton of old prints that I have because I'm just like, one, I'm not as proud of the artwork anymore. And I was like, and they didn't move then. They're super not going to move now. And I just don't want that. And, for the most part, I've sold out all of my old t-shirt stock and everything, but it was the same thing. I was like, I don't want to carry so much stock, especially if it's not moving. And yeah, it was hard because I had, for how much struggle we all went through in the pandemic, it was then so demoralizing to come out of that and also feel, I was like, I really thought I had a handle on this. Like, not a lot, but I thought I had kind of an idea. And I was like, shit, I really don't know.
It was such a weird transit. Before COVID, all the dreams were there. You could do anything. You could be a president. COVID happened right after that. Everything just,
Yeah.
but it made no sense because there was more people getting out, more people doing stuff. My theory at the time was, okay, new people are getting out. They just don't know the etiquette. They don't know what you're supposed to do. They don't know what it's like. They don't understand that this is like, you're coming here to support these people. That's like what Artist Alley is for, or what specific conventions are for.
Yeah.
Because, you've got MegaCon and things like that. And that really is like, okay, you're here to see fucking celebs.
Right.
You're here to do all
There's
the
a
cool
cosplay
panels
show
Yeah,
and a
like-
celeb show.
and the vendors and Artist
everything
Alley
else is just sort of there
extra.
for...
But it's like, things like Ithacon or even Twin Tiers Comic Con, like it's all like you're there to support the local artists, or even when, I would even say that Fairfax and Tidewater, thank you, I knew it.
are
Right at
still
the
both
tip of my
at
tongue.
that sort of level.
Like those are like the in between. Like you're here to support, and there's the opportunity for like extras.
Yep.
And it's like people didn't know that going in. They were just like, because I definitely felt like in COVID, all of the media stuff got big.
Mhm.
It was like, oh wow, there is other outlets other than things that are live and whatever. Like there is other things, and people started getting into fandoms a lot more because they were home and they needed something to do. So when it came out that they could go to conventions, they're like, oh shit, I want to go to that. So they go to it, and it brought more people, which is great. But it's almost like we had to start back from ground zero again. Everyone is like, oh, I need to experience this. The next year's like, oh, I kind of have it. Oh, wait a second. You were supposed to. And then now it feels like we're maybe hitting that year of it's coming back,
Yep.
which would be great.
Which would be great.
If it's true. Please be true.
Please be true.
But fuck, the last 3 years, oh my gosh. It's so weird. But everyone's coming back and they don't know. You
Yeah.
know, that's what it felt like big time. But then also we have big AI that came out, and everybody's just like, that's the big thing of why, and we're like struggling on that too, is going back and forth on whether or not prints are worth doing anymore.
For the first time, we up print prices too.
Yeah, and it's like if they're not going to sell, then we got to up them so that it makes some sort of a difference when someone does buy one, you know. But it's like people can just get what they want for free.
Commission, like,
and it's
not just at shows, but my commissions in general, it's been scraping.
Really?
We used to have a waiting list for Joey.
Yeah.
It used to be literally a waiting, like first day, we would get like 3 people that are like, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then it's like, okay, well, here's the waiting list. And then people at the end of the first day being like, I need something. Like, okay, we have to work on it tomorrow. We get to the next day, we're going, people are like, I want stuff, I want stuff, I want stuff. And we get to the point where Joey would have to send like 2 digitals later on, you know, or something like that. Bare minimum. Like maybe 1 or 2 each show now. And he gets them done in like the first day or second day, whatever it is. Like commissions just... AI has ruined that you can just get what you want. You don't need to go to a person. You can do it for free. It might not look great, but you get what you want. You're like, it's good enough. It was free.
Yeah.
Just like whenever I play a game, I'm like, it was good because it was free. Like, it's so fucking dumb. But I don't know. Maybe again, we're hitting that trend. Maybe it's coming back. I hope people are realizing that it's like, yeah, you can get that free AI thing, but look at the quality of this commission or this print. Look at how much work went into that. Like, you either get what you want with a commission, like exactly what you want. I don't got to do 35 prompts. I don't, whatever it is, it's there. It's what you need. Which also, I don't want to be a complete hypocrite because I have used AI specifically for like D&D background stuff. For that, I thought it was great. When AI was coming out or whatever, Mid-Journey was specifically the thing for D&D, and I was like, this is great, guys. I can be like, you're in a tavern. Because I will say this, I always want to get commissions from people. I always want art of specific things and characters. I will never go up to someone and be like, can you draw me an entire setting of a tavern with a bunch of people drinking alcohol and a bard at the stage, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like that's where we can draw the line. But it's like, I'm definitely not going to go up to somebody and ask for that big ass
I don't
thing.
have $700 to drop for this art for my game that I'm going to use one time.
Yeah. But do you mind? So, like, in that fact, fine. It's great for that. But AI is like, it's I don't know. People can just get whatever they want, and it really has
I
kind of
definitely
ruined
feel like it's eaten into the commission market.
Well, and I say this as... It helps to hear this, not because I wish that on anybody else, but it is what I was personally experiencing. So it is, with any of this, it's nice to know that it's not just me. Everybody didn't suddenly decide that they just hated my art, which is what my brain tells me.
No, people just look at it and they go, oh, I can go home and make that.
Yeah.
So, what do you mean go home and make it? It's right here. Buy it.
You know.
Like,
I had a really tough time with coming out of the pandemic and kind of the, like, we started streaming, we had all this stuff. Like, it felt like there was a lot of momentum, and it was very much okay, so anybody who's not creating content in any sense, like, you asked the artist to show up because you were stuck at home, and we did. And then as soon as the back door opened and you were able to go back outside again, you dropped us so flat. And that, and I don't want to take that personally. That's not fair. And I get it, but it was hard. Yeah. It was hard because I was like, no, you asked us to, and we did. And I was like, I worked harder during those couple of years of the pandemic than I had the previous years, which I was already working hard. So to come out of all of that work and all of that, what felt like was momentum and build up, to essentially like slam into the wall and have to start again, I was like, it's tough. It's tough to keep that same excitement and passion when I wasn't getting it in return. And, like we mentioned earlier, I don't mind teaching new people how to have fun at conventions, and talked extensively about AI stuff. And, I can appreciate the joy of being creative. Obviously, I'm a lunatic. I decided to do art for my career. Like, I get it. And I get that, like many things, like if you could just show up and be great at golf. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I'm pretty okay.
Yeah.
Imagine, you're out there and some guy shows up in his golf suit, his Iron Man golf suit, and just fucking dominates. And he's like, well, I guess I'm the best at golf.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
That's
golfer.
AI art, guys.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm May, and I'm the editor of the OlderNDumber podcast. Do you know what hell I go through each week editing these? Do you know how much shade I throw at the guys for existing? You would if you were sub to our Patreon. Patrons get week early access to all our episodes and also get a sneak peek at my super secret editing notes. Sub today at OlderNDumber. That's older, the letter N, dumber on Patreon. See you later, dipshits.
Yeah. So it's like, so I get it. Like, I get this desire of wanting to feel really good at something. I do. And I can appreciate that if you have an idea in your head, being able to use that as a tool, like any of this other stuff is tools. Totally fine. It is what it is. My frustration and the point where I really draw the hard line is, I said, it's then at that point, like, I don't care if you come to me and say, here's the stuff I generated to try and be able to better articulate to you what I would like.
It's perfect. Yeah,
it's great tool use.
Great. It's a great tool.
Yeah.
It is not the final, like, it's the running joke that we've talked about many times. It's like, oh no, for animation I just boop 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 into the computer and then say animate and then it just does it. I'm like, that's not how tools work.
God, that'd be so awesome if it did though. You'd be like, here you go, done.
Yeah.
Make this jump and do some cool shit.
Yeah, it's like little like secondary. Yeah, okay, cool. No, so I don't mind that, and there are times when it can cut out a huge chunk of back and forth of people trying to ideate and all of that. And I am so happy when I don't have to charge someone, an additional whole round of edits because we couldn't quite get where they wanted in the first stuff.
Yeah.
All of this is fine. But it was like, to so quickly lose any perspective of value for the artists who are actually doing it. That was like, that's where I need you to don't drop out on me.
Yeah.
I need you to hold on to here. I was like, yes. And I can appreciate, since I started doing shows, I've had people who come up to my table and said, oh my gosh, I love your art so much, but I don't have the money to support it right now. I was like, that's okay. Like, it is okay. Like I said earlier, even just online support, likes and clicks and algorithm happy pills, like, it's still a good thing.
Yeah.
And the hope is then that, like, okay, so then when you do come back and see me, like, I'll still be here. And so, like, that's where I feel like the shiny new, fresh car smell that AI was, like, I'm hoping that kind of like fad is dying down a little bit, and so that we can kind of start getting back to the, like, oh, I really do like it that an actual human person made this art and made it for me. Like, that's, and I think as stressful as they are, it's why I like doing commissions in like collected sketchbooks or on sketch covers.
That's my shit.
Yeah, because I was like,
I love that.
it was years ago.
Never gonna AI that.
Right.
There's no way.
Right. And so it's why I'm happy, I feel confident making hand-drawn art. And I was like, no, this is a tactile thing you can own.
You are the only one who can own it, because this is not going to be digital.
Yep.
I mean, unless they take a picture.
Right.
But still,
yeah,
never going to be digital.
Yeah.
I felt, and that's another thing. Before COVID, there was like the type of con person. There was the I only get commissions, the I only buy prints, the I only get pins and things. That was another thing about conventions. You went there as a collector.
You could almost tell too when you saw people
100%.
walking around.
You were like, that person needs this. That's what, like, conventions had the I'm this type of person. That's what I go there for. Again, that's the more of like the etiquette thing, I feel like, and maybe we're hitting that again. I don't know. But it's like, when I started first going, like when Joey first introduced me to the real convention life, when we first became friends back in the day, the old adventures of Hunter and Joey. We should make that a comic.
I was gonna say I would watch that anime.
That seems pretty dope. Anyway, I first went to conventions and I did have to find my groove on what I wanted, but I still remember in the beginning just buying random shit because I thought it was cool. And then eventually going, okay, I need to focus on what I want. I have found out that I like commissions. And every time we go to a convention, I am at least always trying to look for someone who will do commissions and either doing it in my journal or getting character work done. Like, that's my thing. So, like, that was a big thing before COVID, is those types of people. And we need that again. Yeah. We need those people who are like, I'm that type of collector. And we got a person like that for Ithacon, which was great. Yeah. And it's like, holy shit, you're not a dying breed. So that was cool.
Yeah. No, it's encouraging. And I will say, it was nice to be back doing commissions at Ithacon. Like, that felt really nice. It's always funny because, well, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what people are going to ask me. They always surprise me. Yep. And I was just like, you came to my table and you looked at all my stuff and that's what you decided you want? Okay. Like, I'll do it. I was like, pretty much, if I can find it on the internet, I can probably draw it.
Yep. But it used to be you would have people come up and they would be asking whatever the big thing is. Like, oh, can you do this because it just came out, blah, blah, blah. But it did start to become the, You know, Joey's got boobies and butts all over everywhere. You know, people are coming up, and this guy just goes, "Oh yeah, can you draw this super like post-apocalyptic wasteland thing?"
Seems like it really fit your style.
Huh?
It's the people who come to my table and they're like, okay, so I've got this horror thing. And I was like, you looked at all this cute shit and you said, you know what she's good at? Drawing horror. I mean, I will. Oh, and I mean, just from a personal, like, because it stresses me out, mechs. I'm like,
Yeah.
you looked at all of my super organic, like fluffy, squishy creatures, and you're like, intricate robot. And I'm like, please, no.
Did you bring your panel lining tools?
It's like, oh, I might have well, I don't have a ruler, but I can use the edge of this program that I have for the show.
There you go.
But
Got my
it's
drink cup.
seriously no, and I'm always so just my own side tangent with this, but like, I'm in awe. Like I grew up on Gundam Wing. I love that. I am not good at drawing it, and
It's
I'm
hard
slow.
to draw. Yeah,
I'm slow. I was like, please don't ask me to draw Transformers.
I've
Gundam
seen
Wing.
Joey work on robots. It looks tough.
it is.
Like
I did those couple Transformers pinups.
I remember that. Yeah.
and they're good, and I like them. They turned out well. They were not easy to do. And it's like I've wanted to do a third one for a while, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to jump back into that pool.
Your hand starts to go to this thing, and you're just like, maybe not today. Well, and I think it's, and I'm curious for your thoughts on this as someone else who does commissions so often. Like, I have a somewhat of a shorthand with some things. Not that I've necessarily drawn a specific character before, but I was like, certain poses, certain things. Like, there is a shorthand in my brain because I've drawn this specific thing a bunch of times.
You go to it.
Yeah. And I was like, no, and I'm comfortable doing that. And that's kind of my expectation why a lot of people come and get stuff from me. So to have something that is so different, I was like, oh no, like I have no base to draw from this. Like I gotta,
it's like you're learning to draw for the first time.
right. Which is humbling, which is not a bad thing, but it's those moments where I'm just like, yes, logically I understand this, but to make the connection, I was like, wow, this takes a lot more brain power to actually make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next, Older and Doodle, I'm gonna be like, who wants to give Swan a robot? First person.
Iron Giant only.
Can I tell you though, I was thinking about it before when we were talking about the twin tiers. For the second year that we did it, the show, there was someone who came up and mentioned that a piece they had gotten from me the first year they still have up in their room. Aww. And I was like, it might sound silly, but it's those little moments that mean so much to me. Mm-hmm. I was like, that keeps me going. Because you, not only did you come to the panel, you enjoyed it, you got to go home with a piece of artwork that you asked for. Like, it meant enough that you then came back. And I don't look at it cynically like they're just there to get another free piece of art. I was like, no, you came because you liked it. You enjoyed this. You enjoyed the experience. You enjoyed the fact that you got something cool. Like, that's a special thing. And I'm seeing a little bit more of that back. Mm-hmm. And that, like, I was like, okay, you can breadcrumb me along and get me, if you can get me just there. I was like, just those little scraps and I'll keep my hope alive.
Yeah.
Keep the fire burning inside.
Yeah.
It's definitely been a different experience for us too, like transitioning to more of a studio setup at shows as opposed to just me. We had an artist table.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how all that works together and how all those moving pieces can.
That was also another tough part of right out of COVID. We were like, oh, this is going to be great. Like this part, we know it's so easy. We could just add on the other stuff. And then it was like, holy fuck, we tried jumping into the deep end instantly. So yeah, that's been the other tough part too, is that we're going more as a brand now rather than just the art. Mm-hmm. And it's like trying to find what works, what doesn't work, what can each of us bring to the table, what exactly would work for what we're trying to do. And it's like, each time we're just trying to more or less, this is who we are. Check us out. This is the artist. I'm the voice actor. This is the entrepreneur, this is the streamer, stress editor, photographer, like, and then it's tough to figure out what it is we can bring to the table that will sell or help us the brand wise. Mm-hmm. And figuring that stuff out, and this year was a little bit different because we did the prints and stuff in the commission still, which we'll always do. But it's like this year I made Nuka-Cola caps, and you are right. I was very happy that you didn't help because I do feel more like I brought something to the table.
It was your thing.
I felt like I was like, you know what? I actually brought more than just me. But yeah, I made Nuka-Cola caps and people really liked them. So that was cool. Of course, they're 75 cents, but hey, it was pretty awesome. We put a lot of work into it. It was cool. But figuring out new stuff like that, and me and Joey were just saying the other day, man, we should just get a fucking distributor's license and buy fucking blind boxes.
I want to do gachapon machines at the table.
And just do more physical random stuff. Because it is weird, but all the mystery stuff always sells. It's weird. They're like, that's the tangible thing I really like, but it could be in there.
Okay, I'm so happy you said this, because this baffles me, and it's because I'm very much not that type of consumer. Like, if I go to an artist table, I want a specific
I want this thing.
I want this specific thing. That's what I want. I can see it. I was like, so the idea of
gimme
of the mystery box, like, but I've put together mystery bags, although I have to say one of my favorite things is for one of the shows this year, I had not just one but multiple people before the show and at the show ask me, what's in the mystery bag? And I was like, okay, so I will say
mystery.
maybe you're asking like what type of items are in there, so I'll give you that. But it was just a funny thing where I was like, it's a mystery bag. The point of it is that you don't
know.
Okay, yeah. So that's a weird thing for me. But I remember seeing it at Baltimore. One of the first like big vendors that you'd come up to was just
mystery stuff.
Just mystery boxes, and I was like,
which
interesting.
Yeah, it's not a bad model. Like it is like. And, you know, maybe we'll try and keep doing it, but it is. People like it. It's the collectible feeling, you know, which I will say after COVID has also jumped a lot more too. The collectible thing has skyrocketed.
It's really changed. That market's really changed too, because it's not people know what they have now.
Yeah.
You can't go to a yard sale and be like, oh, hey, look, I found a first appearance of Star-Lord and get it for $1.
Right. And they're like, it's $552.
Yeah.
How do you fucking know what you have? But yeah, the collectible market has skyrocketed. So things like that sort of seem to move, you know, but that's the thing. Do you make your own? Do you get a distributor's license and buy a bunch of different ones? Like, we got lucky because, you know, we were able to have some extra things from somewhere and sell those, and that was good. But I don't know if we'll be able to do that again.
Yeah.
I'll say, what if you did something like, and I just think of, because I consume so much TikTok. Why am I not watching animes? Because I'm just watching fucking TikTok. But the tattoo shops where you put in and then you just get a random,
and then it gives you a
like,
random thing.
So I was wondering, like, if you could do something like that had either like a little sketch card from Joey or a little Older and Dumber pin or something along that line, so it was all like your themed stuff.
We want to do a gachapon.
Yeah, like that would be,
or just a machine or whatever. And we've been talking about doing where it's like you get something and then us making
like fortune cookie
fortunes, but like instead of them being like really wise, they're really dumb. They're the, you know, whatever the wise saying of this is, what it actually means, you know, that kind of thing. Like, get up off your ass, you know.
Also, just quotes from the show or running gags from the show would be super fun.
So we've been thinking about that, and we saw a gachapon machine at Ithacon this week, and we're like, why didn't we do that?
Yeah.
So maybe.
Well, and it's an interesting thing, and I think I'm always impressed with your table because having the different people who have I am. No, your setup is rad.
I try.
No, it looks awesome. But it's the thing I always was curious about with people who are writers and not necessarily artists who go to shows. Because I always have the sit and sketch.
Yeah.
No matter what's happening, I can sit and sketch. So even if people aren't necessarily talking to me, they can watch me draw. But I was like, but if you're a writer and that's not a part of it, it's a whole different like
you're
interacting.
You're talking.
And I was like, so with you guys, you have all those different like who can interact, who can talk on a specific fandom, and all of that stuff, as well as having the artist. So like but I can see the like having to kind of work out how that works for everybody at the table. And
yeah,
not
that's
having to be on the whole time.
Yeah, that's the toughest thing. And that's the toughest thing too, is we brought on people who have never done this before. And it's like Joey and I have been doing it for years beforehand. And then when we went to the first ones, we're like, guys, you got to do this, and this, and this. And the whole time
get off your phones.
They're on their phones. They're either dazed out, being like, what the fuck do you mean? What am I supposed to do?
I don't think people realize what a weekend at a convention is like.
Yeah.
Like I say this with all the love in my heart because I was like, no. I know you think it sounds like I just go and have fun. I was like, no, I'm there for like 8 to 10 hours. I work the whole time.
Working.
I remember I'd come home from some shows and
no break.
Other people would be like, hey, do you want to go out and do stuff? I'm like, absolutely not. I want to go home. I want to take a shower. I want to lay in my bed and not talk to anybody.
Is this somehow related to the show, so I'm still networking? No, I'm not.
Then I'm not going to do it. Nope. If I don't have to be on anymore, I'm going to go home and power down. Nice. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's so having all those people are really nice. But again, it was the whole they don't know what the hell they're doing. They've never been here before. I will say May has jumped into it quite well, which is awesome. May's always been really good at stuff. Even when we first hired her for when we worked at GameStop, like she gets things quick, which is awesome. So May's been really great, and Michaela has started coming too as well, and she's great support. Because like when you have enough people, you get to a point where it's like everybody has that role, you know, and it's like Joey's obviously the artist, and we'll talk to people. I'm a lot of times a face, and I'll talk to people. May's getting into that, but doing a lot of the transaction portions of it, and then Michaela is huge support, where it's like we need this. She's got the bag. She's got the print. She's got whatever it is, you know.
Yep.
Everybody's sort of gotten that role, which is nice. But yeah, I forgot where we were going with it technically. But we have a lot of people, and it's nice, and we're a brand. But again, we also are all trying to figure out what it is we can bring that isn't just my struggle. And Joey can either say it's not blah, blah, or anyone is my struggle with every time we go to conventions now is before it was just me and Joey, and we were pushing what we had done. With it being the brand now too, it's like we have all of Joey's stuff, and that's like the main inventory. And I feel bad because it's like we each do stuff, but what kind of oh shit, I bumped your mic. That's a new one.
That's a
a
first.
new one. Very new.
We're over. It's 2024, over bumping our own mics. Now we bump our friends' mics.
Fuck yeah. Bump your friend's mic. We're putting that on a sticker, a t-shirt. Bump your friend's mic. I don't know what it means, but it means.
I think we all know what it means.
So Joey's the artist. He's there. He draws. We gain a lot of the inventory because of him. He does commissions. We're at the table. That's a main selling point. Whereas, like when it comes to example for me, right? I'm the face and I help push some stuff, whatever. But it's like I'm a voice actor and I want to how can I translate that to something at the table that's tangible for people so that I can also contribute to whatever our product is. But also the product is us. We're trying to sell us. It's the please follow us, check out what we do. This is, we want to do more than just podcasts. We want to do more, we've got dreams. We've done an episode about our dreams, but anyway, like there's just stuff like that. And it's like, I think, me and May feel that is sometimes that we feel like a lot of it's on Joey because it's like, oh, you want a commission? This guy will do it. Come back in an hour, like other than this week when you made May draw one of the commissions, it was really funny. And then the dude was like, I love it. Give it to me.
Yeah. So they came back and I had hers on top of theirs.
Oh, it was so funny. And it's bad. Like so the kid wanted Zorro. Joey did a phenomenal job. And then May, I basically drew most of it and then she drew it in. But Zorro, this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Not Zor, like
not sword in hand, not sword in mouth.
Yes, exactly. It was like a potato with like a hat and the mask and like that was it. So anyway, you came back.
Like, all right, it's all set. I put it around the board.
Showed him the bad one and they go, oh, and the dad was like, I could have drawn that. And then Joey goes, oh wait, hold on, sorry, and then pulled it out and then goes, here you go. And then they're like, oh,
incredible.
Yeah, but then the guy wanted it, like the dad. He was like, yeah, can I have that too? And then we told him May drew it and he was like, can you sign it? And she's like, what the fuck?
Amazing. So I'm wondering along those lines because, I'll say, even as someone who has known you for a while, like part of the fun of coming to your table is the experience.
Right.
You guys are fun to interact with. So I don't know, with the personality stuff, like, is it the, compilations I see online is asking different customers the same question. Like, what anime are you into now? Or, my all-time favorite, because I teach children a lot, is who would win in this fight?
Oh my gosh. The super fight question.
Yeah, but I was like, but something like that where like you guys could engage with people who are coming to the table, and I think of it as the like experience thing. So you might not go home with a tangible thing, but you're going home with an experience that is then directly related to what they got from your table.
I definitely think we tried to do that at T2C2 last year. We definitely tried to be more of like an entertainment hub.
Yeah,
at that show.
Yeah,
which when we do T2C2 and graciously
we're running the panels and
yes, because of our amazing sponsors and knowing the people who run it, we get a lot of really good treatment and we try to give a lot back for T2C2. So we get the ability to do so much more at T2C2. What we do at T2C2 is what I wish we could do for every fucking show, which would be awesome as shit. But obviously we can't because but that level of what we did last year is what I want us to be every time, whether we have the 24x24 or the 6x6 or the, whatever it is. That level is what we hope to strive for. But obviously it's tough and difficult when, you try to tell conventions before you go, like, hey, we're this, we can do panels, we can do whatever. And it's like, you don't always get response back because you got to know people and that's networking.
Yeah.
Again,
it comes back to the building back up stuff. Like I felt like I had to go back through, whereas I felt relatively established. I was like, I have been attending pro at Dragon Con for a few years now. Like I feel like I've got the cred, but starting back fresh with other shows and be like, yeah, I've been, oh, okay. Yep. Here's my resume here. I've been doing it for this many years.
Yeah.
This is what I bring,
Yeah.
It's like,
that 100% happened to us with Tidewater this year. I was in at the base of Tidewater. Like I kickstarted that show. I know the people that run it. Like I talk to them whenever I'm at those shows. I'm like, oh, hey, this year we missed our payment window by a day. And they're like, no, you
miss it though. They said it could be in that day and then we weren't allowed to pay.
Yeah.
It was so
they're like,
fucking
you got to go back on the waiting list. And I was like, guys, I've been at this show since the beginning.
right.
Like,
And I like, it's not an expectation of preferential treatment, but it is the, like, I want to continue to support you.
Yeah.
And I do that in good faith, but I don't want to say, like, I want a little bit of respect because of it. I was like, the mutual belief in each other.
Yeah.
Like
that. I feel like that makes sense. Like you should
I've been at this show every year. I do your sister shows in Fairfax, in Hampton. I know all your guys. I was here at the beginning.
you talk about the shows to other artists. You've talked to them, to me about it. Like I've heard you talk to other artists about it. Like,
like I'm part of the foundation of this show. I've been there every year.
Yeah.
Sorry, you missed the window by a day. You're back on the waiting list.
But the other thing is too is it has been many years, and it's like new people come in to run those shows, and all that information gets lost. And also, I will say another uptick after COVID: more people tabling, more people being like, "Oh, I can get out there and do this stuff." But I also feel like very quickly those people left. Like they came in really hard and left really hard because of them being like, "Whoa, you can't do this. This isn't sustainable."
What maniac would do this?
Yeah, right. But it's like
maniac would do this more than once.
You tried this at the most horrible time to start trying this. So it's like if you want to do it, try again.
Yeah.
But
especially with the people, I feel like we had kind of talked about it with the collectibles and trying to chase trends and stuff. I remember doing GalaxyCon, and there was a huge like vendor section. So it was a ton of cosplay props. It was a ton of like very much exactly as the image looks on the show on a keychain and that stuff. And that was what seemed to be selling the most. There wasn't as much support for what I term indie artists or original.
Yeah, custom,
artwork.
original.
So like that, there's nothing against that, but it was definitely interesting to see the wave of artists and artist alleys who were selling similar things to that. But I was like, that requires a ton of upfront money.
You're talking like right in the beginning, right? Like right after COVID. Yes, that's the things that people were like, again, it's the etiquette. People were going and being like, convention, I like all that. I do, yeah, but you're just I'm just making noises now. But it's like, you have Red Dead Redemption 2. I like that. I do too. That doesn't look like Red Dead Redemption, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it is. This is the point. It's
yeah.
But people wanted that like instant thing. That's what they were willing to spend their money on.
Yeah.
You're going to drop $20 on a 11x17 reproduction of the cover art.
The box art. Yeah. Which, again, like, I never want to fault somebody for the thing that they enjoy, but it was, it was strange. And I feel like a ton
you
of
should
those...
have something different, not something everyone else can get.
Yeah.
Like you want something, you go there for the shit that you can find, not the, I found it on the internet, that guy happened to have it, so I'll just get it. Yeah. You want the special, you want the different. That's why, well, maybe it's not why you're there. That's mean to say, I feel like, but that is a reason to go there. That's why the artists are there. We want you to find that thing.
Yeah.
We're here to help you find that thing that we want to also be enthralled with it like you are. Like,
yeah. No, it's interesting.
But there was a lot of vendors after COVID too. We had noticed that when we went to, where did we go to? Was it Fairfax that it was at?
Yeah.
Just all vendors. So many vendors.
Yeah.
It was like, holy shit.
Well, they front loaded the hall with the vendors too,
That
so
too.
people had to go through the vendors before
Right.
they get back to the artists.
So many weapon stalls. People are like, check out
Oh,
these
that was
swords.
remember MegaCon the first
Yeah.
year back?
Fucking all like from here to here, from one wing to one wing, just weapon vendors in the same one multiple times. It's like, why did you pay for so many square footage? It's insane.
Again, just baffled by it. I don't know.
Been thinking about doing something where we set up a camera and have a microphone and just ask people random questions at con and record them. But then it's like, you also have to do a whole thing where it's like, hey, are you okay with being recorded? Are you okay with being online? And then it's like, we
You
can
gotta
record that, but
be-
you also have to get it written. And then it's like, we're spending 25 minutes filling out paperwork or something just for people to be like, Naruto. And then it's over.
You got to be on an end so you can get in and out from behind the table
Yeah.
easily.
That's the other thing is sometimes we're asking for stuff and it's like the convention just doesn't give a fuck. It's like, okay, you're just pulling us in here like sheep. And you're just,
Some of the table layouts of Artist Alley have been peculiar to me at times where I'm like, no, there needs to be some sort of break in the middle. Like, you can't have this whole huge run and have no way for us to get out.
Yeah.
And then the times where I have been on like that break, you'll just have customers just walk right through the thing. I'm like, that was weird.
you can't go there.
You can't.
I will say, Ithacon, you had an awesome spot.
I did.
I liked your spot.
I got lucky this year.
Yeah.
I've never been on that wall before. So
Yeah, that was. It was like
Yeah.
right in the middle, very, very good. I like
The perimeter walls at that show are
always good.
yeah,
Always good.
it was interesting again because I've been all in different places and how funny.
The spot we wanted was open the entire weekend because whoever got it didn't come, and it was like, come the fuck on.
Those are the ones where like, you know, and I've had some shows where people don't show up or stuff like that. Like gone to organizers and be like, okay, how would you feel about us doing
Can I
this?
just have that?
And I'm very much for unexpected things happen. People have emergencies, all of that. But I was like, empty tables look bad. They look bad at shows. And I was like, if you've got somebody willing, like, let them spread out.
Like I talked to the guy on the left, and we're willing to split it 50-50.
Yeah, like that's gonna look so much nicer than just holding it in. Yeah,
We did it that our first time
At
at
MegaCon,
MegaCon.
yeah.
There was a table in between us and some other artists, and she was like, "Do you want to split this half and half?" And we split that table half and half and got extra table space.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah. No, I remember I was supposed to split a table with somebody at a show I went to out in Erie, which was a weird show. But there was a whole bunch of people in our row that just didn't show up. So I moved a whole table over, and it was funny because the guy I came with, he was like, "You just had all that stuff?" I'm like, "Well, I've been
Yeah,
doing
you
this for a
bring a
while. I
lot.
just brought everything, like,
Yeah.
and then depending because sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 8, sometimes you're in a corner unexpectedly. I'm like, I have this extra thing. I have more if we want to build more. I have less. Like, so I was like, yeah, I have my whole table set up ready to go. But yeah, just it's.
Speaking of your table setup, I was just telling Joey this in Ithacon. Like, we have like the wires and stuff like that, and that's cool. Like, I like our because it's very modular. We can do like whatever we want with it, which is cool. But it's just black bars, like it's just black wire. I love your wooden stuff.
Thank you.
Like it just looks. It exudes fancy. It exudes
That's neat.
elegance. I just love it. I love it's the tiers look really good. Just the wood finish looks good. And like, I want us to get a bunch of stuff like that too. But then again, I look at it, I'm like, that's elegant as
We're
fuck.
getting neon lights
But it
and
matches your
gachapon
colors
machines.
and shit.
So that was the whole thing. That was part of the
your
rebrand.
Shit matches so
Oh,
good.
it's so good to
and
hear.
it's like
Thank
we
you.
could get that, but then it wouldn't match like our O&D blue and like the black like it just wouldn't do it. It'd be fucking cool.
Yeah.
But it just wouldn't match. But yeah, we're still trying to see that's something to figure out too. Like we basically started over without starting over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, I'll say it was a big part because I had the first actual banner I'd ever bought for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And I was so worried because the number of people who would come to shows and be like, "Oh, I saw you because of your banner." And I was like,
when you got a new one, you're
I
like,
can't
oh,
change
no.
that. I was like again, at that point, it was also very much during I'm like, I'm already struggling to get people to come to my table. If the few people who do know me like can't find my banner anymore, I was like, they're never gonna come back. So, but a big part of it was like, okay, like I want it to be more cohesive. I've thought about it. It's been kind of slapdash for many, many years. So I was like, all right. And I was like, I like the like black chalkboard, like white sketch line on top of it. I was like, okay, so how do I actually start to build that out? And that's where because I had the magnet boards for all of my stickers, I was like, oh, like I will get like a black background with a wood border and that will start to be the through line. But it took 10 years to kind of figure that out and get it to be cohesive. And I love it because all of that stuff is very like stackable and it all piles down. The only thing it doesn't do is fly. That's the one where I'm stuck. I was like, I can't take
Can't
off.
strut.
I can't. I mean, it probably could, but.
What do you mean you can't fly? You can't take it on a...
I would have. I don't know how it's too much. Like
Yeah.
I would have to pay so much extra for suitcases.
And
to
then
actually...
you're in a situation where you're like FedExing your stuff to your hotel, and then
And
it
might
gets
not
lost.
show up. And,
Yeah. So it's like the stickers, very transportable,
Yeah.
very easy. Like a lot of that stuff, but some of it I'm like, okay, so I haven't totally figured out how I do shows that are not within driving distance.
I was say just drive.
Yep.
Doesn't matter how far it is.
Yeah, we're getting a trailer, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It's
Yeah,
our
the trailer
next
would be fun.
investment.
Because
We're-
we've
get it wrapped with O&D.
Yeah, we've driven a
signage.
lot, and we don't mind the drive, which
Well,
is nice.
It's also multiple people thing.
Yeah,
That's
multiple people
it makes the biggest
driving.
difference. That's
Yeah.
it's where I run into because
split gas.
yeah,
like
I
it
was
makes.
like, and even just have someone like, hey, I need to sleep for a couple hours, and then I can take over again.
Mhm.
And I miss that about going to shows with people
Mhm.
because I don't mind doing it by myself. And most places I know at least somebody that if I'm desperate can watch my table. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole additional set of things to consider when you're doing it fully solo.
Yep. Yeah, that definitely seems tough for sure. Yeah.
It's interesting that you said that though, because I feel like since you've launched Older and Dumber, like your branding.
Me?
Yes, you.
Us, our stuff.
I felt like the branding has been so consistent and so good. Like your table, I can always pick your table out. Like the banners are good. Like I love how it looks. So it never feels like you are unsure of your setup. So
We look real
That's
good
good
on the
to hear.
outside. On the inside, we're
Especially
fucking-
considering
literally the theme of all of this. You want to know what it's like to be an artist? Like whole big sheen on the outside, anxiety on the inside.
Oh yeah.
Especially considering I was just like, yeah, we need a new banner.
Yeah, we're gonna change it because I don't know if you noticed too. We didn't set up all the banners
Right.
at the con because one, we didn't get a wall like we asked for, so we didn't have the space for it, and it's like
about 18 feet
it's
altogether.
so long,
You maniacs.
and it's really cool. Well, when we made it, we were like, oh yeah, we have enough bars for this. We didn't have enough bar. We were one.
Spoilers, we did not have enough bars.
We're one bar short, really. So we actually have to like makeshift half of the each time we do the full banner, one of the bars is not actually connected to anything. It's just like we like bring a piece of metal to connect in between them and tape the shit out of
Amazing.
it. And then we try and just like hold it up with wire. That's what's behind all those banners. So we really need something new to put over that. But we really do enjoy those banners a lot. They're perfect for if like just me and Joey go to a show, we take those banners. May goes and does something with her photography, she can take hers. Yep. And Older and Dumber, if it's all of us and we can't do all of them, we do just that one. And we're also thinking about, Joey's
Bringing
new
the
print
new
wall.
print wall design in the
um,
works.
So there's a bunch of stuff going on with that. So, but we want a new banner, something different.
Well, I think what you're kind of saying along the lines of like adaptability has been the big thing for me in either like bring too much, but pretty much be able to adapt to any size
It's so
space
much
that you
better to bring more than not enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
We also mess up on Ithacon because we can't find our stickers.
They're somewhere.
Yeah, we gotta find those. We're hoping. I haven't checked that box yet, but maybe they're in that box. It'd be pretty fucking cool if they're in that box. But yeah, we are here at the end of this.
Hey, it was a good conversation.
It was.
It
This
was.
was very
No,
good.
I love chatting with you
I
guys.
very much enjoyed our very insightful conversation here. So I think it would be great content. Hopefully a lot of convention people will watch it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Remember that you guys can always catch us on Tuesday nights on Mellia's Twitch, where we play Starfinder. Soon we will be playing a new game, but basically Tuesday night is our O&D stream for TTRPGs. So please make sure you catch us 9 p.m. Eastern, usually every Tuesday night. Also, along with that, we have Gaslight Theater, which comes out hopefully once a month on a Sunday. Of course, we had a very big stop because of technical issues a little while back. So, there's a secret episode no one will ever see.
We'll release it to the Patreon.
Yeah.
You can struggle through it.
Yeah, well, it's fine. But we are getting back on track for it. But that's usually all that Carter says. Oh, we're going to be at Free Comic. No, you won't. It'll already have happened
When's the
by now.
podcast come out?
Ask us how Free Comic Book Day went.
Oh, yeah. Ask us how Free Comic Book Day went in the comments. And also make sure to listen every single Friday for Older and Dumber podcast. Comes out at 4 a.m. if you'd really like to wait for it. But every single Friday.
It's
make
such
sure
a
you
weird
watch
release time.
What? I know.
Research
I
that
know.
or
I think for our first episode, when we were all, well, me, you, and May, I think, we're all on Discord, and we were talking and getting everything set up. And I said, all right, guys, what time should we have this release? Like midnight? He's like, blah, blah. And then it was like, who the fuck is up at midnight? And I'm like, all right, I guess that makes sense. So we could do like 4, or no, I was like, okay, how about like 8 a.m. when people are up? And then it was like, oh, but what if people get up a little earlier than that? They want to watch it early. All right, fine, let's split the difference. 4 a.m. I think that's how we came up with 4 a.m.
Nice.
But whatever. Maybe it'll change someday.
If you want to listen to those episodes even earlier than 4 a.m., you can get them a week early by joining the Patreon. For as low as $5 a month, you can get early access, behind-the-scenes content, and more. You can follow us everywhere on the internet at OlderNDumber. You can follow us individually, Hunter at Voice of Hunter, Carter at J. Carter Rutt, May at Mellia, and me at Slutty Mage. And you can follow our guest, a Swan named Emily, at a Swan named Emily. And join us for your fantastic programming. If you'd like to tell the viewers about that, do your little pitch.
My pitch? Yeah.
Promo it up.
Yeah. So like Joey said, I am a Swan named Emily all across the internet. I am the showrunner of the Doodle Crew. So we are a live drawing group, which these lovely gentlemen have also been on. You can catch all the episodes of that. They end up over on my YouTube, which is also a Swan named Emily. They are grouped together by season. We are currently in season 4. If you want to watch that live, you can watch me over on twitch.tv/a Swan named Emily. If you like my voice and want to hear more of that, I am on a somewhat every other week chat show called In Addition, where a group of friends and I talk about the things we do in addition to all the other things we do. I've also been guesting recently on a bunch of TTRPGs. So if you are an Animorphs fan, you can hear me be a Hork-Bajir over on the Hork-Bajir Chronicles at Dungeons and Dracon Beams. If you like Pokemon, check out the Late Starters podcast, which I will be possibly showing up on very soon. So what would happen if instead of starting at 10 to collect Pokemon, you went out at 20? And shenanigans. It's so much fun. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I had an absolute blast, so I'm eager for that. Watch me draw. You can see me at conventions. I try and post my schedule of where I'll be. If you would like to see behind the scenes content or have a say in the stickers that you can get, you can follow me on Patreon. If you would like to have stickers mailed to you, that is also a tier. And a tier is also available that you can make requests to have custom stickers made every other month. So that is also a Swan named Emily.
Oh, I can get bump my friend's mic.
You sure can.
Oh.
You sure can.
Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Older and Dumber, the podcast about 3 dumb friends just trying to make it on this planet we call
Earth.
Almost.
I like that you said it and then pointed.
But thank you guys so much. And also a huge thank you to our sponsor, Checkpoint Lounge, who continues to give us this amazing space. And we love all of you dipshits as equally as everyone. We, sometimes more knowledge. But thank you all so much. Your dipshits are great. Mwah, 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 mwah. We will see you again next week.
Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
Subscribe.
Yes, bell.
Ring
Ding.
that bell.
Yeah. When did that start? I don't remember what year was it like ring the bell?
Yeah.